Heaven knows how many millions said goodbye to the towns, defied gloomy weather forecasts, and determined, come what might, to get away from it all. Hundreds of extra trains coped with the rush, with most people sitting like patients on a monument, or at any rate on their luggage. And you can't start the going away habit too early. Besieged also were the coach stations. Everybody knew that the roads would be crowded, but the good thing about coaches is that they have a lot of weight. Nobody tries to push them off the road. Latecomers found that, like time and tide, trains can't wait. Ah, too bad. Still, there's another holiday at Christmas. Up in the air, you could see that, heavy though the road traffic was, everything was on the move so far. Motorists hoped that's how it would go on. The Road Survey Service of the motoring organizations, handlebars bristling with efficiency, kept tabs on the motor streams. Big Brother was watching them in the most benevolent spirit possible. All around the south coast, the seaside places were full. Then the rain had to come, and you could count them on the beaches. It wasn't their finest hour by a long way. But nature relented. The rain stopped, and the good times started again. Of course, in places, it was a bit on the chilly side. How nice to be in front of a fire. When in Southend, eat as Southend does. That is, unless you're slimming and have to watch your weight. Facilities for keeping check on it were available, if sometimes just a little hard-pressed. Up in North Wales, the Long Distance Swimming Association staged the second annual Bala Lake Championships. Competitors included Dorothy Perkins, who swam the Channel a few weeks ago. In front of them was a 3-mile swim and more than an hour in the water, and it wasn't all that warm either. From Coventry, 19-year-old Pamela Jones. Michael Oates of Halifax. The two flags marking the finish must have been a very welcome sight. First home in the men's championship was Malcolm Humphreys. He's 23 and comes from Church Crookham in Hampshire. 16-year-old Dillius Bainan won the Brierley Law Trophy. Yes, indeed, wonderful, I tell you. For the 11th time since the war, Jersey held its annual Battle of Flowers. Eric Robinson was guest of honor. Jersey's convinced there ought to be another summit conference. And what do you know? You can't believe your eyes. The general opinion seemed to be that the floats this year were as fine as Jersey has ever produced, and that's saying a lot. Bernie Winters was now seen in the flesh by thousands of his TV fans. "21-year-old Marion de la Parelli, this year's Miss Jersey Battle of Flowers, is a secretary. Lucky boss. The parade was now over. Time for the real business of the day, the Battle of Flowers itself. The excuse for treating lovely flowers this way? Well, it only happens once a year, and you're only young once. Bolter's Lock, like most popular spots on the Thames and other rivers, was patronized as well as ever. However busy the river, there's no stopping the enthusiastic angler. Of course, there was the usual tale of fish that got away, and those that didn't were hardly worth it. The worst of fishing is that experts can sometimes try all day and get nothing, while the amateur has all the luck. Supper for the whole family. At Portsmouth, it was Navy Day. Jack Tar was host to the general public, and needless to say, the invitation was accepted in a big way. Before the people went on board, entertainment was provided by the Royal Marines, and very smart too. From a modern man-of-war to Nelson's Victory, what a contrast. But that wasn't the uppermost thought today. Nobody cared if the turret did move without warning. The guests were out to have a good time. The more adventurous sex, in one sense, had a look at what it was like below. can't come the old soldier with me, sailor. Travellers who sail across the equator for the first time have to pay tribute to Neptune. And that, as the visitors saw, can be a very wet business. Another amusement at Portsmouth is exclusive to the youngsters. They grub about in the mud for the pennies thrown from the Isle of Wight ferry pier. So, at low water, there's a lot of treasure. It was worth it, but Willie's mother agreed. Land's End had its usual August holiday visitors. This time, there was something unusual for them to see, because the Queen was on her way to Northern Ireland and the Royal Yacht Britannia sailed past. Posing for pictures by the last signpost in England with the name of your hometown there in your honour is a Land's End tradition. All holidays come to an end. 30,000 cars an hour poured into London alone. But at last, the traffic ended. Everybody had got home. Well, almost everybody. What's your trouble, old man? Is anything wrong?